crypto is on the verge of seeing its first real piece of legislation that could make cryptocurrency fully legal and fully defined by Congress here in the coming months. Now, of course, this is an early draft bill, but the difference between what we're seeing today and what we've seen over the past year to 2 years is literally an ocean, universes of difference. Now, remember when I told you, as soon as China started working on crypto, as soon as other nations started stepping in to fill the void of what the United States and other Western countries were leaving on the table as far as cryptocurrency leadership, that would trigger an inevitable economic arms race. This is not a choice of, oh, do we like this stuff? We want to play with it. Oh, maybe we like it, maybe we don't. No, this is a question of if they do it, we have to do it. And right now, Congress is waking up to the fact that China is stepping up and trying to become the cryptocurrency leader of the world. We know that Beijing released its own Web3 white paper just a few weeks ago, and this was as a few weeks after Hong Kong announced that they will be opening up cryptocurrency trading with, of course, some serious guardrails. But that doesn't matter. What matters is other countries are stepping up to fill a void, to fill a clear, huge economic need, and to effectively become a hospitable home to one of the biggest, if not the biggest, online industries that will ever exist, money-wise, speaking in dollars and cents terms. And so today, we now have a draft bill that would effectively start to define which assets, which cryptocurrency assets would be regulated as commodities versus securities, or potentially under just new frameworks in general. This is a huge deal. And again, it's way too soon to see whether or not this is going to make a massive difference short term, when it's going to be passed, what the ultimate language of the bill will be. But right now, what we're seeing is that the original language that the SEC used to use before we got this new SEC over the last 2 years was around the term of decentralization, sufficiently decentralized, and it generally included, language around disclosures and other types of stuff that people would definitely want to know if they were getting into a crypto project. But most importantly, we're seeing the first few steps towards what could be a proper legalization of the crypto industry, giving sort of constitutional and basic protections to crypto holders and laying out the most important clear guidelines on how innovators can potentially go forward with American companies in building crypto technologies and launching crypto tokens without any confusion, without all of this gray area. Because right now, there are no rules, and no matter how much the industry begs for those rules, they are getting absolutely shut down by regulatory bodies. And so instead of turning to regulators, which their job is to enforce rules, not create them, we're now getting some actual activity out of Congress. Now, let's be honest, there are plenty of congressional members and leaders that hate crypto. They hate it. And that's why I think this upcoming election will become a true litmus test for what happens here as far as crypto policy. If a bunch of legislators get very popular on anti-crypto stances, well, that might be a very, very bad thing for the crypto industry here in the United States. However, I have always been a relentless optimist to the core, and I'm always very, very interested, more interested than at the peak of the mania of the bull cycle when we're here in the depths of the bear. Because being in the depths of the bear, you know that no matter where you are, you're in a better place than when things start hitting all-time highs if you already have bags packed and you've already prepared for the next cycle throughout these tough times. So right now, seeing some of the little cookie crumbs indicating that we may start to see real regulatory frameworks emerge for cryptocurrency. Again, the way these things are dated out, it's essentially 6 to 12 months of leeway after these laws eventually get passed, which they will take a long time probably to get fully, agreed upon, the language, the rule sets, the division of powers, eventually passing these rules, then having these time lapses kick into effect. We're looking at, at least probably 2 to 3 years before any of these rules would really kick in and start to take hold. But we could see as much as innovative, regulatory safe harbors, where you could have projects that could launch in a safe harbor zone, knowing that it's very hard for projects to launch in a completely decentralized way day one, but give projects chances to reach decentralization, to achieve certain milestones, and to essentially fit the descriptions that the legislative bodies would like us to hit as an industry. And this, to me, is a massive step forward. It's exactly what's going on in other countries, and this is the stepping stone path to getting true crypto adoption. adoption. There will always be this sort of renegade, wide open crypto ecosystem that we see today. However, the real crypto ecosystem of the future will be stuff that integrates very fully with the financial system, will allow for seamless onboarding and for real ease of use with things like NFTs, different crypto applications, gaming, and of course being able to buy, hold, and store, key cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum in a way that your grandma can actually figure it out. True self-storage is true freedom, and I will always push that narrative, but let's be honest, grandma ain't setting up a multi-sig, ain't setting up a hardware wallet. That's not what she's gonna do. And so we need to understand that having these regulatory frameworks will allow for innovators to have a home in the United States, will allow for this industry to truly flourish. And what I can say is today, it is not a small victory. It could be a huge victory. The Coinbase head legal counsel came in and chimed in and said that it was a huge victory to see language like this coming out of the United States, where it's mostly been a black box and pretty much absolutely no talk of real regulatory clarity. That's what everyone's been begging for. And it's kind of mind-boggling that it's taken this long, but when there's so much money on the line, you better believe that it benefits the people in power to play it slow and even to FUD the industry. It's not, to me, I believe genuinely that the people in the highest halls of power understand just what's happening here. They know what's happening. They know it's gonna happen. And their goal is to try to control it by essentially keeping prices under control with FUD and negative news, and then eventually trying to pass legislation that would allow them to control it. But the population has woken up through channels like this, through other types of social media, through other types of activism. We're spreading the news and we're spreading the information required for not only the legislators to understand how to do this, but for everyday people to understand what's so important here, to understand that a CBDC is essentially a surveillance nightmare, an Orwellian nightmare, that we need to protect the rights to hold Bitcoin, to hold Ethereum, to innovate around cryptocurrency products, services, and networks. And this is exactly what we're starting to see echoed here, finally, in the halls of Congress. Come on, guys, you gotta love it. As always, EllioTrades, if you like this video, make sure to watch this one. It's popping up right now, or this one. I don't know which way it's gonna pop up. And I'll see you very soon on the next episode.